In the dusty corner of Bright Future College, a large mango tree stood behind the science block, old and sacred, and strangely avoided by students, but to Kenneth, a quiet SS2 boy with crooked glasses and a nervous stutter, it was the only place where he felt seen by no one. He was a reserved boy with asthma and a slight stammer. While others chased crushes or mocked prefect, he sat there and scribbled poems and hid them in torn math notebooks. Wasn't the loudest or the most fashionable, but she had something that made people stop and listen. Her laughter could cut through morning assembly stress. She was soft-spoken, intelligent, with eyes like honey. Kenneth had admired her from afar since JSS3. He tried everything, from sharpening her pencils, offering his seat, even praying at night, but she barely noticed him. Kenneth didn't just admire her, he worshipped her from behind his thick glasses. On a rainy Thursday, his heart racing, Kenneth poured out every emotion he had hidden in his chest. He couldn't hand her the letter in person, so he folded it, tied it with red thread, and buried it under the mango tree like a prayer. During break, Kenneth approached her with trembling hands, but a boy shouted his name and laughed mid-sentence. The sound shattered his nerves. He dropped the juice box he brought her and fled. The laughter haunted him all day. Mama Ndidika, who cleaned the classrooms and chewed cola like it owed her rent, saw him pacing under the tree and muttered, "Una dey write love letter near spirit tree now. That tree na grave of heartbreak o." Alone the next day, burning with shame and self-pity, Kenneth wrote another letter, not of love, but of rage and sadness. He cursed the tree, cursed his own softness. He told the soil, "Let her feel what I feel." Then he cried himself to sleep in the hostel. The next morning, found her locker soaked, not with water, but with thick red palm oil and black feathers. Students gossiped. Kenneth watched her cry and felt something sick twist inside him. Why did that feel satisfying, he asked himself. Just as one student played ball behind the classroom and dug up Kenneth's buried letter, now torn, damp, and splattered with something brownish red. A teacher then picked it up. Mm's name was written repeatedly in shaky handwriting. That afternoon, didn't return from afternoon prep. Her friends assumed she had gone home early, until a prefect found her ID card, lipstick, and one black sandal at the base of the mango tree. Her absence sparked chaos. Teachers asked questions. Kenneth kept quiet, fist clenched. He didn't know where she was, but deep inside, he feared he had something to do with it. 3 days later, walked into the school barefoot, hair tangled, face blank. She didn't speak for hours. When she finally did, she whispered, "He buried me there." She didn't say who. The who returned was not the same. Her once radiant eyes looked dead. She stopped sitting with friends, stopped answering roll call, but she started standing near Kenneth's desk silently every day. Kenneth found diary on the window ledge. Inside, his name drawn in spiral patterns, scratched out, written again. "He called me," she wrote. "I didn't want to go, but the tree heard him." He couldn't sleep that night. He couldn't breathe. His little act of desperation had done this. But he also felt a sick closeness to her now. She looked at him, only him. Kenneth, once invisible, was now the boy followed everywhere. The boy she clung to in corridors. People noticed. His bullies kept their distance. He should have felt fear, but for the first time he felt seen. Mama Ndidika took him aside. "The tree is not ordinary," she said. "It collects pain. Years ago, a girl hung herself there. She had written the name of her lover on her belly. During a test, a student laughed and called MM zombie. He started choking mid-sentence. Eyes wide, neck stiff. MM didn't move. Kenneth whispered her name. She blinked, like waking up from a trance immediately. Kenneth confronted MM behind the laboratory. "Why are you doing this?" She tilted her head and said softly, "You wanted me, so I came. Don't you like me now?" He tried to reverse it, burning all the letters, praying, even confessing to a pastor. But every night he woke up to the sound of MM's soft voice, whispering, "You asked for me." A dream, a warning, a woman with no eyes told Kenneth, "You may return her soul, but you must replace it." He woke up with blood in his ears. Kenneth was offered a way out, bury another name, pass the curse on. He then wrote down a bully's name as replacement. He carried the note, but his hands shook. He couldn't do it at all. Kenneth went to MM and sobbed, holding her hand. "I did this. I'm so sorry. Please let me go." For the first time, MM's eyes welled up. She said, "Kenneth, I don't know how anymore." They both returned to the mango tree the next day. MM dug with her bare hands. She screamed. He screamed with her. The earth trembled. A root wrapped around their legs and then nothing. They woke up the next day beneath the tree, dirty and exhausted, but felt lighter. For the first time, MM smiled at Kenneth, not sweetly, not romantically, but just real. MM withdrew from school. Her parents took her for deliverance in a church. Kenneth went silent. He stopped writing letters to anyone. He started speaking his mind. Months later, MM sent him a handwritten note. "I forgive you, and I hope you learn to forgive yourself too." They met once after school under the tree before graduation. She held his hand. "I liked you," she said. "I really did, but love should never hurt this much." The student noticed that the tree stopped dropping blood-colored sap. New mangoes grew. No one feared it anymore, but Kenneth never sat under it again. Years later, Kenneth returned to the school for an alumni visit. He saw a little girl drawing near the tree. He stopped her gently and said, "Some things are better left buried, my dear." He dug one last time under the tree, not expecting anything, but he found it, his original letter, unopened, untouched, except this time. It had MM's handwriting on the back. It simply read, "You were always enough, Kenneth, but I was never yours to keep." We've come to the end of this interesting story. Thank you very much for staying true with me. I hope it was an enjoyable one. Please don't forget to click the subscribe button and leave a like. You can also leave a comment telling me how you felt listening to this story. Thank you and see you in my next story. Bye.